It's Father's Day, so we're going to be talking about the best, worst dads in the Star Wars universe, as well as some of your top headlines from this week. It's Jedi Alliance 136, and it's happening right now.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Jedi Alliance.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Jedi Alliance. This is episode 136. We're going to be talking about some dads, some news, a whole bunch of good stuff, but we got the whole team here. I'm one of your hosts, the internet's Mark Donica. You can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. Joined as always, to my left, the one and only Michael Young.
Hey guys, what's up? You can find me online at OneYoungsters, which is OneYoungst.
Hey! Speaking of A, we got ATORS890.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Alexis.
I'm good. What? Sorry, I'm still recovering from yesterday. Hi. You guys can find me all over social media at ATORS890.
Alexis is our chat master.
Yes, I am.
Our chat bot. Or no, chat droid.
Yes.
Chat droid.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I will refuse if I get called a bot on this show.
No, AT890. That's your designation. You're an AT chat droid.
Yeah, it's the best.
So, you're a little coffee and losing your voice. I'm a little well, actually, I'm a little tea
Look,
and losing my voice. And Michael's fine.
He's always fine every time.
You're just fine. You
Yeah.
monster. How's everybody doing? I mean, we physically we're a little bit rough, but just how's everybody week's been?
Dude, awesome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Really?
you did something recently. What?
I had my bachelorette party
Oh,
for LA in
what?
Universal, and we were there from 8 a.m. when it opened till when it closed at 10 p.m. It was
Wow.
fantastic.
Spend any time at City Walk?
Oh, no. We were so tired.
So bushed.
We were so tired.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
was
looked like
awesome.
you had a lot of fun.
It was good. It was, I guess if you're going with a group and you're celebrating something, wear a lot of things if you're going to be celebrating
lot
it
of
because you get a
things.
lot of free stuff.
Oh.
So, yeah, we didn't have to.
No,
we
yeah,
didn't
you
have to
got a
be
lot
in
of front of the line stuff. I saw.
I didn't wait in any line. Only
Word?
one line, which
Shout
was
out
for
to
all of
Universal. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Universal.
Who
What's up?
did you recognize your wand keeper?
No, I didn't get to. Oh no, I didn't recognize my.
Okay, that's
keeper.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
That was just me alluding to John Roca.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
he wasn't. He was not today. I was looking for him though. I was like, where is he? But no, yeah. But one of my posse got to choose her one.
Really
that
cool.
day.
Your posse?
Yeah.
It's really magical.
Yeah.
Would you? Did you have revolvers and
Yes.
like cowboy hats
Yeah.
and like cool?
Yeah, we were
cool.
walking-
Yeah.
Yeah, I
we
mean,
were
you-
walking,
Spurs.
like,
Man, you don't know since you haven't been in LA long, but there used to be a show at Universal called the Wild Wild West Stunt Show.
I miss it.
Yeah, and it got replaced by something that's a lot more useful, a plaza. But it you know,
Yeah.
they were trying to bring it back.
Okay.
How about y'all? How about you, Michael? How was your week?
Pretty busy, putting out the show. I was also fortunate to be on a documentary that'll be coming out in February called Black Ink, basically focused on people of color and their contribution to the comic book industry.
That's awesome.
So yeah, I got a little interview in there. Erica Alexander, Joseph Village, some other people that are really, really cool, and it's gonna be fun. It'll be.
But February, that's a long time to wait, though.
Well, it'll be good because you get that slow burn and you get to see that trailer and you'll be like, yes. Just be like, that's me, mama. Press the pause button. That's me. So that'll be cool. That'll be cool.
I was in a movie, Mom.
I mean, I kind of did that this morning because I got a notification that I was in a special video, and I saw somebody with a Star Wars shirt who has a beautiful face that talked about EA Play.
Oh, so this guy over here.
This guy over here who showed me making a beautiful woman on Sims 4.
Yeah, she was kind of alright. She, I mean,
you saw how thick I made her. She was-
How many C's in thick? An unlimited amount.
Yes.
You'll have to watch the video to find out. But I do have to say, like we're not going to spend too much time on it. But
Yeah.
like we talked about our Star Wars experience with EA Play last week. But I love how the other group that we were with, Nerds Doing Stuff, they were playing the game long before you were even close to finish with your character because she had to be perfect.
Yeah.
She had to be perfect. So that one's up on BHL right now, right?
Yeah, that's on BHL. And the title is something like EA Play Wrap Up, Star Wars Battlefront review or something like that. But search Nerdsoul, NERDSOUL. It's up there. You're in the video too.
For the split second I stuck my head in. I see a camera and I can't help but go, what's going on?
but I loved it because the intro was there, and then Mark just like slowly dipped out, and I was like, "This is amazing." He's just like, and there he goes.
I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm gone now.
best bonding experience ever.
Yeah, that last weekend was a lot of fun. And speaking of this past weekend, my episode of Millennial Falcon came out from Screen Junkies News. Myself and Jenny, we had that was so much fun. We shot for about 45 minutes. The episode ended up being about 18. They cut out a lot of really good stuff, but I don't blame them because what they kept was pretty good stuff too. And our boy Sleuth's holding it down in that comment section. Yeah. Like I saw him and I was like, all right, cool. Jedi Alliance is representing here.
Cool.
So make sure to go check that out. It's on Screen Junkies News. It came out on Saturday, so it's not too far down on the video list. But we talk about the planets of the Star Wars universe where we would live. And she is an interesting person. I will say that. But
I'll check that out later. I can't wait.
Yeah, check it out. It was a lot of fun. And then more news about other Star Wars related stuff that I'm doing at the end of the show. But let's get into it. Let's start out. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about how Mark Hamill was. It sounded like he wasn't feeling. He didn't like the way that Luke was headed in Episode 8. Yeah. By his comments.
Yeah.
What did you think of that story initially?
I was like, man, they must be really taking him somewhere that, is just maybe they're going to blow our minds with something that's like either maybe extremely indifferent, extremely evil, something like that, or just like, just maybe malicious and not evil, but just malicious, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because for him to make a statement like that, being the Luke that we know, I figured they must be changing him to someone, maybe just the grumpy old man that he didn't want to be, something like that.
Yeah. Well, he said that he was quoted incorrectly, saying that he was eventually quoted saying that he fundamentally disagreed with what Ryan had, but he was instead surprised how Ryan saw Luke, and it took a while to get around his way of thinking, but once he was there, it was a thrilling experience, and hopes that it will be for the audience too. So just a little bit of a clarification, and I figured that since we reported on the first one, we should report on that as well. Good call for picking up the story.
Hey, I do what I can. It's not easy, but I do a little something.
What was this other one that you picked up?
The other one we're looking at was let's see, we had the Star Wars Battlefront 2. And their trailer and how it was received. The title is Crushes the Mario trailer.
Yeah.
And I think that's due to the news that EA put up, ahead of time saying like, hey, guys, we know how you guys felt about Battlefront 1. We listened. Here's some of the gameplay. Here's some of what we plan to do with the DLCs, blah, blah, blah. And I think that helped generate. Plus, the story looks super sweet and the effects.
But it's also Star Wars.
Yeah, it's also Star Wars. But I mean, Mario is he's no slouch. I mean, people love that plumber. Mm-hmm. So
I love that plumber.
I love that plumber. Well, I love his brother. Same thing. Yeah, I like him.
Luigi's okay. But it's cool to see something that's a lot like Mario is a large brand in itself, and then for Battlefront, especially coming off of a release that it was well received at first, but then kind of like tapered off to come back and get that love again with the new information, the new special effects, and I mean, well, not special effects, but the new graphics, and to see that people are like, okay, cool, we're back into it, and into it so much that you crush a juggernaut like Nintendo, because I mean, Nintendo is not it's not a slouch. People love Nintendo.
Not to get too far into the weeds on it, but did anybody watch that Mario trailer for Mario Odyssey?
I did.
Yeah. It's cool. It is cool.
Because it starts with a T-Rex, for goodness sake, and I was like,
it's like, huh?
Wow, Nintendo actually got a surprise on the fields. Like nobody expected. There's a dinosaur. He's wearing a damn Mario hat, isn't he?
Yep.
Oh, and then we can be the T-Rex man. So we did E3 coverage here last Wednesday night. Go check it out. We talked about all the conferences and all our favorite demos and gameplays and trailers, and it took everything in me not to pick Star Wars because of having the show, and we talked about it already, and we played it. It's not necessarily. It's not very fair. It's not very fair. But Mario was my next favorite one. So despite all of that, EA did get a couple of extra days and because because their conference wasn't on the same day of any other one, and they didn't really have a presence at any other conference, but they had the most time to accumulate the most views. But kind of according to the story, it's less of like, about like 100,000, but like a lot. So
it's a good sign that people still have goodwill for this. They're willing to play it and hopefully make the multiplayer community real great. So excited for it, but not to diss that dinosaur, because that dinosaur was sweet.
That got me. Got me good.
I want that Switch though.
I know. Don't remind me. I put it on my registry, but I know it's never gonna happen.
Dude,
you never know.
That's amazing. That's like when I registered, I was like, "Is it okay to put like a laptop? Because I need a new work
Neil
laptop."
did immediately. He was like, "Boom, laptop." I was like, "All right."
It's like, can I put?
But I think it's a Chrome bit. Wait, no, Chrome bit. Google Chrome. I don't know. It's one of those.
Is it Chromebook?
Chromebook. Thank you.
Yeah.
Chrome
Thank you.
bit.
Sorry,
Thank you, Neil, for clearing that up.
Chromebit is the smaller Chromebook.
But that's one that you have, right, Neil?
I actually do have a Chrome
Thank
bit,
you.
yeah.
I get them confused.
And
It's not my
it
fault.
works.
Chromebits, they're like Timbits, but with technology.
Yes.
Before we get into our next story, though, I do want to let everybody know that this is a sponsored episode, and we would like to thank our sponsors. Without our sponsors, we can't keep giving you this stuff for free. So you help them out, they help us out, everybody's helped, and in this case, you get some food.
Oh, yeah.
Special thanks to Blue Apron. They are our sponsor for this episode because not all ingredients are created equal. We've said it before, and we're going to keep saying it because it's entirely true. Fresh, high-quality ingredients make a difference, so it is important to know where your food comes from. Now, Blue Apron's been a sponsor a couple of times, and we say every time how much this service is important to bring people together. My wife and I, we are like, our schedules differ so much, but when we get our Blue Apron in, it's sort of a thing. Well, okay, now we have to make sure that we are home so that we can cook together, and so it's a wonderful way to bring people together. And the meals themselves are just phenomenal. You can get for various diet types too. If you're a vegan, if you're a vegetarian, if you're a pescatarian, or if you eat everything. So. That's one like Alexis. It's really affordable for less than $10 per person per meal. Blue Apron delivers seasonal recipes along with pre-portioned ingredients to make delicious home-cooked meals. My favorite part about that is you don't have extra stuff laying around. It's just, here's what you need for this recipe. Here's what you need for this recipe. And if
you're not sitting around with like one extra onion and you're like, what do I do with this onion?
Or half a clove of garlic, or like
you don't use all of the garlic. No.
Depends on how sick I am at any given time.
Garlicky.
Yeah. They also come with step-by-step instructions, so you can't miss it. They also come on thick cardstock, so you can keep the recipe.
Yeah, it's like this nice paper, and it's well designed. I gotta give it a props on
You
it.
cut holes in them and made them into a binder.
That's smart. That's a good idea. You can customize your recipes each week. It's not the same thing, and it takes about a year for a recipe to come back around. So you're not going to be seeing like pulled pork sliders every other week. Like, no, it's going to be fresh stuff. I mean, point taken. But you're going to be seeing some fresh stuff every single time. So check out this week's menu and get your first 3 meals free. That's absolutely free. There's no gimmicks, no nothing. All you have to do is go to blueapron.com/Jedi. That is JEDI. Blueapron.com/Jedi, where you get 3 free meals with free shipping. You'll love how good it feels and tastes to create incredible home-cooked meals with Blue Apron, so don't wait. That is blueapron.com/Jedi. Blue Apron, a better way to cook. Thank you very much to our sponsors, Blue Apron. We absolutely love them, and every time we get that Blue Apron, it's just a nice day.
Now, back to those pulled pork sliders now. To the chat real quick, who do you think in Star Wars is like a pulled pork slider type of guy? Like, and don't just say Porkins, all right? Don't just say Porkins.
Come on.
All right, but who do you think is like a pulled pork, like kind of like a pulled pork kind of guy? That slow roasted, that kind of guy. Who is that? Or lady. The ladies get their barbecue on too.
Galen Erso.
You know what?
Dang it.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Ursos.
They're out there on the farm. They got a couple pigs. Do the roast. Maybe. And it's easy because when you're a farmer, it's like a sandwich on the go. So it's like he's got to like pick like the peas or something, and you can still get a little bite. Get a little bite. I can roll with that. It's not bad. It's not bad. I think Galen Erso. I'll agree with that.
I was gonna say Ewoks, but I don't know if there's like wild boar out there in
There's
forest.
probably applicable.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's unlimited beasts with unlimited flavors.
Yeah. I just don't think they're making
with
it.
unlimited flavors.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you never
there's
know.
There's the Ultra Beast.
I just don't think they make them into sandwiches. I think it's just meat on a plate. You know, just eat it. It's actual pulled pork. It's just on like
just put it
on
on a
rice
plate.
or something. Like
Yeah.
you know.
We just put it on a stone and
Yeah.
like.
In the chat, we've got Eric Bay Anderson saying Porkins, Sleuth saying Jabba, Garrett Farney saying Yoda, Eric Bay Anderson also saying
Yoda.
Sagarera, Blasted he's saying Sabulba. Sabulba seems like more of a raw meat
Yeah,
type of a
I
guy,
was
but
gonna say, I don't
know.
think he cooks his.
Yeah, and I know they went more into his species in the cartoon, but I just forget what they're like.
And I'm still waiting for that 30 for 30 that you set up. You know that Disney needs to go.
the Sabulba 30 for 30.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I really want that. That was a great time. We have good ideas on this show.
Yes.
And that's why you should leave us
Amazing ideas.
That's why you should leave us reviews on iTunes. You should go to iTunes, subscribe. If you're watching us on YouTube, just head on over to iTunes or any podcast outlet that you may have, and leave us a review. 5 stars if you like us, 4 if you don't. The other stars don't work, so there's no use doing that. But we do check them out, so please leave us comments there. It helps boost our ratings. There's a lot of Star Wars podcasts out there. We appreciate the fact that you keep coming back to us week after week, and that helps us find new viewers and new sponsors, which help keep this free. So thank you very much. Make sure to leave those comments. And I want to talk about this next story. It's a quick one. It's kind of a quick one. It was revealed over this past week that Janina Gavankar, who is our lead for Star Wars Battlefront 2, I'm so sorry for blanking on that. It's been a long couple of days. Is going to be the performer for the audiobook of Inferno Squadron. So since it's going to be from Aiden's point of view, Aiden's going to read it. Now, being an audiobook connoisseur, Michael, how does this tickle your fancy?
I liked her from Sleepy Hollow. I came around to her, so at first I was like, I don't like her character. But then I was like, you know
Just
what?
like that.
Yeah. Then I was like, okay, she'll do. So I actually like her. I like her kind of like her staccato, if you will. But I think she's cool. She has a great voice, and for this role, it's in line with how she speaks. She has a lot of power, a lot of authority. So I think she'll be great in this. And it's always fun to have that link between the game and the book and the movie and all that.
Well, even just the characters sharing, especially with Ashley Eckstein for the Ahsoka book.
Yeah. So it's always cool to have those, tie-ins on every side. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. You don't feel like it's jarring, and you're like, oh, I'm right at home with this character. So I'm glad that they were able to pull that off, even though I think they probably put that in their contracts now.
Sure.
They probably have like, your voice belongs to Disney.
Well, especially how she commanded the stage at the EA press conference when she came out with her Inferno Squadroneering on one and the Imperial Cog on the other. And that dress, though.
I mean, yes. Also, you can find the designer. She's on Instagram. I can't remember her name at the moment, but I will tweet it out because she's fantastic.
She's amazing. Friend of the show, Stacey Shuttleworth, had another one of her dresses, and they caught eyes, and they were like,
Yeah, so I couldn't say words because I was just like, hi, when she came up to us, and I was
pretty lady.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god, it's a pretty lady in a pretty dress on me. I'm just like, smack, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Like, snap out of it.
We had to close your
yeah,
mouth.
that was exactly what it was.
The jaw was on the floor.
Yep.
So any book, any subject, Alexis, I'm going to start with you. What would be your dream Star Wars audiobook, and who would read it?
Okay, so, Alive or Dead?
Alive or Dead.
Okay.
It's your dream.
Okay, yay. Bloodline, Carrie Fisher.
Yeah.
That is what I want.
Who did? I'm going to look up who did the one for Bloodline.
I had it. Dang it, I looked it up earlier.
Unless people can put it in chat.
I forgot. I looked it up.
That's an amazing one.
It was like Jennifer. I think it was Jennifer something.
Jennifer Hale?
Maybe I can't remember. I'm looking it up.
But yeah, that's considering that she did it for her own books.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have liked that.
I think that could have worked out easily.
Right?
Yeah.
And been great.
How about you, Michael?
I would like a sort of go ahead, sorry.
Oh, sorry, January Lavoie.
Okay,
that's what
cool,
it says here on audiobooks.
All right, I think I would like, since I don't know enough about it, I would like a sort of storytelling or storybook telling of Knights of the Old Republic. It may be kind of like a broad telling of that time period. either
Like a series of short stories about important events.
All right, one of three, and I know this isn't fair. Give me Morgan Freeman, James Earl Jones, or Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson, you gotta give props to the Liam Neesons.
Okay, now Neeson works because he's in the world.
Well,
So I would almost like that. I think the other two would be too, especially with James Earl Jones.
too known. And then also it's like Vader's telling you.
Yeah, it's Vader.
Yeah,
and with Morgan
that would be
Freeman,
weird.
I don't know if his voice fits those types of stories.
Okay.
Maybe there's one here or there, but it fits with Qui-Gon Jinn. Like earlier days of Qui-Gon Jinn were telling the stories of the Old Republic to like a class of younglings or whatever. Like he was a history teacher before, like while Dooku was still a member of the Order. You know,
that could work.
I would like Sir Patrick Stewart to read Aftermath.
He's the voice of Mr. Bones.
Yes.
Let's do that. He's the Robert. I have to go with this and get your bingo cards ready. I would like however long it needs to be, short story, long story, of an average journey from a Rex pilot from the original Star Tours. That's what I want. And then it would be narrated by Paul Rubens. Pee Wee Herman, more commonly known,
for people who don't know.
was the voice of Rex on the ride, and I just want a little bit more from that little droid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd like that. That would be really sweet.
Especially because that, or the aftermath of that flight, because that's his first flight. What happened to him? Did he get reassigned? Has he taken that and become a better pilot as a result of it?
I need to get on the new Star Tours. I haven't gotten on the new one yet.
At all?
At all.
Huh. Well,
I mean,
shoot.
yeah. I don't
Well, no,
remember.
because like it's gonna. When was you don't remember the last time you went?
Well, Neil proposed to me at Disneyland. I don't remember if we got on.
Oh,
That's very.
Big
Don't
shout out to
blame me
Neil.
for not remembering.
Yeah, it was last year, so that's all I'm gonna say. But I have it's on the plans. Just correct me if I'm wrong, Neil. Like I don't remember much from that day, so yeah.
He was like, well, I remember.
He always
All right.
remembers.
So yeah, let us know what your dream audiobook and narrator would be in the comments
We got
down
a
below.
few in here.
Yeah? Who do we got?
Sarah asks, is there an Ewok book that Warwick could read?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Chris Beckham says James Earl Jones reads Lord of the Sith.
All right.
That would make sense. Sluice actually said Lord of the Sith read by Mr. Bones.
I mean, same thing.
But also Sluice also said that he read Bloodline in Jabba's voice.
That's pretty adorable.
Yeah, Bubba R said mine is Chewbacca read by the actor in the Wookiee series.
Oh, Peter Mayhew? Oh no, in the Wookiee series.
Wookiee species.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, I read that. My brain fixed that to series instead of species.
So it would just be in Wookiee.
Yeah.
That
That would be interesting.
That'd be interesting.
That would be unfortunate.
Oh.
Speaking of something that was unfortunate, we never knew what happened to Captain Phasma. After the events of The Force Awakens, but we do know that Captain Phasma is returning for the next movie, and we're going to finally find out how she made her escape from Starkiller Base. Coming in September, we've got the cover up here. It is going to be
cool.
from Marvel Comics.
Awesome.
Entertainment Weekly posted this story, and they've got a whole bunch of the art without any of the voice bubbles in it, so you don't know what's happening, but it looks like she is just bolting past people while stuff is exploding during the firefight that happened on the surface. Are you guys sad that this isn't going to be in there? Or one of you said that this wasn't in the first movie, or that we're not going to be seeing this on screen? Or do you think the comics are the right place to put a story like this?
That's tough. It's because it depends on how long and how involved that scene becomes. Like if it's a couple of pages where she's just like running through, jumps in the ship, bounces, then it's like okay. But if she has some important interactions, or if maybe she sees sees the fight in the woods from a different perspective or something like that, then it's kind of like, oh man, that could have been sweet. But I'm interested to see how she got out of the trash compactor though.
Yep, that was my first question.
Because the last time we saw people get out of the trash compactor, they needed some outside help. And some of that outside help came at the last minute. You know, they could have got it together a little quicker, but you know, they did give them that outside help, which we assume, did not have. But I mean, I guess she still had like radio contact, maybe, possibly. You know,
someone saw on a camera. I was like, "Hey, wait a minute."
Hey,
And we didn't actually see
She's not
her.
supposed to be in there.
And we didn't
Captain Phasma?
Phasma.
And that's Ken's cameo. But we didn't see her actually get thrown into the compactor, so we don't know what state she was in.
Yep.
And this
True.
will reveal some of that. So that's coming in September, and it's going to be another part of the lead up to the movie. Yeah, that's it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, everybody wishes we saw more Captain Phasma on screen, and I think this will be the best for this short little thing. I don't think it'll put us right. It'll be everything until screen.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is a one shot, but regardless, this is similar to how C-3PO got the red arm. It's something that's like, oh, how did that happen? Well, here's how that happened.
Yeah.
And it's cool.
Now, speaking of comics, big shout out to some people that sent me, can't remember who sent me the link. I'm so sorry. But they are doing a hardcover for the Darth Vader series, including Vader Down and the annual and everything.
The entire series or like in parts?
The entire series. It's going to be like $80, but I'm probably going to get it.
No, I don't blame you.
I'm probably going to pick that up. But yes, it should be coming, I believe, in September. But yeah, hardcover, whole Vader series. It's so cool. Yeah, I'm excited because it's going to connect all of that, all of the Vader Down, and all of the Star Wars episodes that like interconnect with it. So it's going to be a lot of stuff, but it's going to be nice, you know, that hardcover. So in my case, my wife won't be like, "What are these little floppy comics?"
Floppies are hard.
See,
Like,
when you put a hardcover up there, it's like prestige. And then it's like, oh, I can put. Oh, that must be a book. Oh, is this a novel called Vader? It's like, well, no,
it's a graphic novel.
So
Get
it's
it
like
together.
you know, you put a real book up there,
that's
it's
how
like
I
you
see
get that prestige. So it's a little bit better. It's a little
I
bit
usually
better.
push up my glasses when I say that. It's a graphic novel.
Graphic. Maybe you've heard of Watchmen. Anyway,
Every time.
we could keep going on Nerd Talk. So we will, because this is a Star Wars show. So today in the United States, it is Father's Day. So we're going to be talking about the best, worst dads in the Star Wars universe. Let's start at the bottom and then go to the top. Who do you think is the worst Star Wars dad? Does anybody want to go first? And this isn't just like bloodline. This is also like adopted fathers, like the Larses.
Does Vader count?
Vader counts?
Vader counts.
Well, no, I know he counts because he is a father, but I was like, he didn't really father anybody.
No, he did. He fathered 2 children, but he didn't raise them.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Raise.
Yeah.
The worst dad. It's tough. I have to say, and I know this is going to be mean, but I feel like Lars could have.
No, which
Get
Lars?
out.
Oh,
Because there's Klieg Lars,
And then there's
who
Owen.
Shmi remarry, who
Oh, yeah,
Shmi
sorry.
gets married to,
Shmi.
Sorry.
and then Owen Lars is one of their kids that they have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Uncle Owen.
Uncle Owen, who is like a surrogate father. I feel like he could have better prepared Luke. I mean, I know they wanted to protect him and like keep him away from the eyes of the Empire, but I think maybe he could have did like some Karate Kid stuff where he didn't know he was training, but he was training. He'd be like, "Hey man, I want you to wash the deck, but just paint the fence, but paint it like this."
Yeah.
And then like instead of being like, "I want to get some power converters," and then but he'd be like, "Oh snap, Jedi stuff? Yo, I'm already cool at this."
Yeah, but then that turns into like, here, paint the fence like this. That fence is gonna look weird.
Well, it's gonna.
That is a terrible coat. Or no, like even better.
It's a bad coat of paint.
Luke thinks he's doing like Karate Kid stuff, but Owen's just like, I just want you to paint the fence.
I just want you to paint the fence.
Paint
man.
a
What
fence.
are you doing?
Stop messing around. Paint the fence.
What is that? A crane kick? Get off of that stone!
We're going to be using that. You got to actually take it out of the ground. What's wrong with you?
Like, stop that.
I will second that motion on Owen.
On Uncle Owen?
But I think he was bad because he didn't prepare. As a father, your job is to prepare your children for what is to come, and I don't think he properly prepared Luke. They they coddled him a little bit because when we meet Luke, a little soft.
I also feel like Luke just has bad luck with father figures in his life, just period. Okay, we had Uncle Owen, we had kind of Obi-Wan for a split second, and then obviously we have the big one, Vader. So I just feel like if you're fathering Luke in any way, shape, and form, it's not happening.
There's
But
a common
at least
denominator.
Vader came around at the end. Though.
Yes, of course.
There's a common denominator in that. It's Luke. Maybe Luke's just a bad kid.
You know what? Luke is a bad son.
That's what it is.
That's what
it.
Father's Day is about in the United
the
States
bad children.
and Canada. Thank you, Sarah, in chat. But I just wanted to correct that. No, we're not. Luke's fine, I guess.
Bad sons out there,
guess.
it's your
Yes.
fault.
No, yeah, it's your.
He's better
Don't
now.
don't be a bad son. Call your dad. There's still time.
Yeah, there's still time. Call him up.
I
Be
did
like,
it today. I was like, I'm hanging out with my grandpa and my dad. I don't care what's happening. They're important to me. Eric Bay said Django.
I have plenty to say about Django, but it's not in the worst dad
You think
category.
He's the best dad?
He's
Wait, we're still talking about worst
yeah, that's
dads.
right. Okay, all right, okay.
And I'm gonna say Han Solo. We're talking about
Yeah, that was going to be my vote.
almost immediately abandons
love
his
him.
kid. No, Han's a great character, but if you think about
Yeah.
it, and especially going into Bloodline, which we were just talking about,
Yep.
yeah.
not he not there to support. They just
Yeah.
schlep him off to his uncle
Yep.
Luke, and he ends up getting killed by his son.
Yeah.
Arguably the worst grade in parenting.
Yeah,
Yep.
if your son kills you, you're a bad dad. I think if your son kills you, you did something wrong in dadding. All right, you were dadding horribly. All right, you were doing a very bad job
like, I
running
feel-
off and just being Han instead of being a dad.
At the very least, it's being there for your son
Exactly.
or for your child.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't know exactly what happened. The chat is right. We do not know exactly what happened, but we do know that neither Han nor Leia, just like Luke, did, and it's arguably worse, told Ben his parentage
Yep.
and his grandparentage.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're kind of related to one of the most evil men. Well, except for at the end, like it's just a part. It's just a part where he was evil.
It was
Trying
like,
to
all right,
explain
when he was
that.
little, he was good. Then he got
Then he
bad
got
for like a
really
long
long
time,
time,
and then he
and
got
then-
good like real quick.
Wrapped
Yeah.
it up right at the end there.
Saved him.
But no, I
Yeah.
agree. I always feel weird because you guys don't have my Han Solo dress on while we were at EA Play. It's
Yep.
like he's like my dude, but like when he became a dad and I saw what happened, I was like, no, I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of any of that.
Sorry, bro.
Now,
Yeah.
does any of that fall to Luke being the sort of surrogate father at least at the time that he was?
He wouldn't have
He
been
was
put in
teaching-
that situation if Han and Leia
Yep.
didn't leave Ben with him.
Yeah.
But were they leaving him with Luke because that's how Jedis did it before, and they thought they were doing what they were supposed to do?
It
because
seems-
remember, you'd be like, oh, you got the Force. We take you away and you go to Coruscant, and maybe they were trying to build that back up, and they were like, oh, our kid knows the Force. Well, he's supposed to go to Jedi school.
But that's just like it's just like when
First
your parents
period.
are too busy and they're like, hey, we'll just have our kids stay at the after school program.
Or-
Somebody
or
will take care of them.
nanny
Like,
or
yeah.
whatever. No, but that's the
Similar to
thing
the
is,
lie.
Luke, we don't know when his journey into the Jedi way started.
True,
Yep.
true.
So, and I was pretty much under the impression that he didn't start on this big search and disappear until after Ben had turned.
Yeah.
So he may have just been like, "What did Ben and Yoda teach me?" All right, I'll just tell that to some kids,
Yeah.
or whatever,
Yeah.
something like
I'll
that.
just tell that to some kids.
Yeah, I'll just tell that to some
They'll
kids.
figure it out.
Like,
Pretty
all
good
right,
at
kids,
it.
look, close your eyes and
Let me
reach out and do you feel anything? Because you should be.
No, I don't feel anything,
All right,
Mr.
here's this little ball.
Skywalker.
Here's this little ball. It's going to shoot you a whole bunch of times with lasers,
Figure
but
it out.
it'll work. You'll
right.
get used to it.
All right, child, you have to carry me all around this forest. I'm gonna be on your back. Here we go.
It's like wasn't Yoda a little bit smaller than you?
No.
Don't worry about that.
The whole point. It's inner strength and outer strength. Here we go.
Get on my back.
Size matters not, young one. It's like, but I'm 6.
Get on my back. All right. Did anybody in the chat have anything?
Well, Lamp Shadius.
Lampshadius.
Worst dad equals Galen Urso. Got billions of people blown up.
But that's
That
not.
doesn't count.
No, someone say that he is one of the best dads because he protected his daughter from
did.
being under the clutches of the Empire and setting him to a radical zealot. Dang it! You know what?
Right? I'm like rethinking it now. I'm like, I don't know.
But like the Death Star wasn't inherently related to his being a father.
Yeah.
You know, like looking at Catalyst, his and Lyra's relationship, sure, but once Jin came into the picture, they were kind of already out of that world. Like they already knew, like, we gotta bounce. So I don't think that's inherently a part of it.
Yeah, it's not super his fault.
Galen's not the best, but he's not the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could agree with that. So he's in the middle.
Yeah. He's a middle dad.
He's a middle dad.
All right, so let me tell you why Jango Fett is one of the best dads. Because now, while it may be totally unsafe that he's teaching young Boba the ways of the bounty hunter,
Just a little bit.
he's making sure that he keeps an eye on him at all times.
Yep.
He's
True.
teaching him how to protect himself and Jango. But he's giving him all of the tools to inherit the family business.
Yes.
Like it's what he's doing.
I love your logic.
No. But while what he is doing is inherently flawed, he's still like a proud dad. Like, go get him, son, sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So ultimately, he's there. He's attentive. He's watching him. I mean,
I gotta
You can
give
tell
it.
Until,
but he genuinely
still.
also cares a lot about his kid as well, even though,
Even though he's just well, never mind. I guess no disrespect to the clones out there watching right now.
yeah. Sorry, clones.
Sorry, guys.
But it's
And actually, Sluice brings up a really good point.
Fathered an
Technically, he is the father of the clone army.
Yep.
Technically.
wow. You know what?
Now, that's just getting into science. They're all test tube
But
babies,
Science.
but
They're still babies.
they're
now
still
would
baddies.
he be
Still
their
babbies.
Would he be their father, or would the
That family
Kaminoans
fun.
be their father, or be their collective like village raises a
Aaron.
child thing? How would that work?
How so?
Because
He's
they were raising them and like feeding them and training them and stuff.
Hey, we don't have any of the contracts.
Okay.
Because technically,
we don't
could
have
be,
receipts. We don't have receipts.
Seriously,
have
because
receipts.
technically it could be Sheev too, because he ordered it.
yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking
That's
about
Jango.
we're talking about dadism. So who is some of y'all favorites?
Well, I want to agree with what you said because it's the Owens thing. Like when I said Owen, like he was like, look, if you watch the animated series, Jango was gone. Look, Boba was okay. Why? Because he was prepared.
He was ready.
He was prepared. He even, beat up a couple people on his own, started his own little crew. I mean, he was kind of like, really, really short for the crew that he was running. But I mean, when you have that training, nobody can really mess with you. Even Cad Bane gave him a little bit of respect, even though Cad Bane will always be the best bounty hunter. But, but
Not getting into that. Not today.
it's like not touching it. But another good dad, and I know this is gonna sound weird, but he moved hell and earth to find his son, and that's Jabba.
Aww.
Jabba was a good. All right, he was a criminal.
Here we go. I was waiting for it.
It's like watching The Godfather. You know what I mean? He's a good dad to his kid.
Why
Now-
does he have to send the Jedi to go get him in the first place?
Because man, he's like
He would have never let him out of his sight if he was a good dad.
Well, I mean, he's like a big snail. He can't move that fast. Jedi can run.
Yeah, but he's got like
Jedi can run.
Jedi can run.
he got speed boosts.
He's got speed boosts.
Look, I'm just saying we got one.
Is it like turbo?
Yeah.
He's like
It
turbo.
Does his whole body light up and then he just like...
He's like,
Well, no. So the only reason I'm trying to keep us on task is because we do have one more segment to get.
Oh,
to.
that's right.
That's the only
Sorry.
reason. So,
but
you are you legitimately saying
Yes.
that
Yes.
Jabba the Hutt is one of the best dads?
because in the Star Wars series, you don't see anyone drop everything and like, yo, I need help.
He didn't
Get
drop
my-
everything. He sent to the. You do it.
but he sent two really good people.
I can't. It's so
Okay,
ridiculous.
maybe not. I thought he was a pretty good dad.
Send me your best. We got the new guy and Snips. I didn't get her name. What's her name?
Oh, everybody who's watching doesn't like her yet. It's going to be about 5 years until they really like her.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Send those guys. All right, maybe he didn't send the best, but I mean he wanted them back.
Oh god, that was ridiculous.
Eric B. Anderson says Michael is too drunk to drive.
Oh, Michael, you're drunk.
Ah, Malakili, the Rancor Keeper.
Oh man, oh that's cold.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
Oh, that's a good one. What do you think, Alexis?
Oh god.
the
Well,
best
no,
Star Wars
I was
then?
also gonna say Django, but I'll give it to Papa Organa. I feel like he did a pretty dang
he's
good
like
job.
the TV dad of the Star Wars.
Yeah.
You know, you're
No
comfortable with him.
BS. Like just making a list for a show. Bail Organa is one of the best Star Wars
Like,
dads.
can we talk about come on? I mean, we can't. We don't have to go into detail because it's out. Like, come on. But like, I feel like if it's like right on that surface, I feel like Daddy Organa's got it.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
No.
He's a trustworthy guy.
He
you know,
is.
they have home cooked meals every night. You know, they got Sunny D in the fridge. You
Oh,
know, they got
don't
he's-
even play.
He's
That
that
brought back
dad.
memories. I
He's
was
like
like-
that. He's that dad.
Yeah.
He's like playing catch with you outside. He's coming to the games. You know, he shows up at school to surprise you for lunch. He's like he's that
No,
dad.
don't do any of that crap. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Man.
Well, don't do it after like elementary school. Like,
Yeah, Dad. I
Yeah,
love you.
Dad.
Stop it. Happy Father's Day, by the way.
That's why we lock the doors so that endless amounts of dads don't just bring in.
No, my dad would even
Trays
come in
of
here and
orange
be like, hey,
slices.
Alex, here's some Portos. I'm like, Dad, stop, get out.
But leave the Portos.
Leave it, but you can-
leave this. I'll take it under advisement.
It better be potato balls. All right, so let us know who you think is the best and or worst Star Wars dad in the comments down below. We got one more thing to do before we go. We've teased it. We've talked about it. We've had it, a version of it. But it's time to herald back the return and a little bit of a change. It's got a new name, but it's the same flavor. Hope you like it. It's time for Duel of Debates. I don't put that up yet because we haven't said what our topic is, but you gotta feel the power. You gotta feel the power. You gotta feel the power. It's beautiful. It's like we're in the Palace of Naboo itself.
Right?
Now, for Duel of Debates, we are we are going to go back to what?
I'm enjoying the light show. It's
Good.
like-
That's Neil.
yeah, I know.
Thank you, Neil.
Neil is the man.
We're going to be going under rules that we just the audio listeners have no idea what's going on. Shout out to iTunes. Similar to when John Roca was one of our regular hosts, we did it in a debate style where each host gets 90 seconds to debate their point on a topic. You all right?
No, I was looking for a timer.
No, we got timers.
We got
there.
a timer. So
Yeah, we got timers set and ready. Remember? But you're going to be calling it.
I know.
So, Alexis
Jam.
is going to be our timekeeper. Going to keep an eye on the chat to see who's going to win, who's going to lose. But we're going to put the poll up after the episode airs so that everybody at home can vote and see who wins. This week's topic is going to be: are stormtroopers effective or useless?
Dun dun dun.
It has been a topic that is just it's constantly been debated. Time for us to weigh in on it. Now, we posted a poll on Twitter today. It was very weird because it was very basic, very generic. But you voted to have Michael debate for the effectiveness of stormtroopers and for me to debate the uselessness of stormtroopers. Alexis, do you have a coin?
I do.
Why don't you grab a coin and we'll determine who
will.
goes first. I'm going to pop one of these cough drops so I don't waste any of my time
Cough
on
drops.
coughing.
Brought to you by the Empire.
I have a dollar
Empire.
coin.
You have a dollar? No, you since
Oh, no, don't make me fun.
no, flip it.
Okay.
You
All
can
right.
flip it. You can
So
flip it.
Alexis
You
is
got
going
it.
to flip to see who goes first.
All right. Who calls heads? Or tails? All
Michael calls it.
All right, I'll call it.
right, ready?
Yep. Heads.
Tails.
Tails. All right, so that means
That flip was terrible, by
Okay.
the way. iTunes listeners.
All right, so
Alright.
it's my choice. Yeah, I'll go first. Okay. So there's going to be 90 seconds on the clock. Alexis is going to call it, and it's up to you to determine
Oh boy.
who's going to go. But you get a chance to respond to my stuff,
Yeah,
so that's a
but-
little bit better.
But
All right.
Oh, boy.
All
the
right, so
stormtroopers, man.
get ready with the timer, Neil, and Alexis. Whenever you're ready, call it.
And go.
All right. If we're talking about stormtroopers, they're nothing but useless. The visors, they don't allow any sort of visibility. They can't even make a simple shot. And the amount of you have to get through so much training in order to get to the Death Trooper level, which means that you're actually pretty good at your job, but we don't even see them until 8 movies in. 8 canon movies in, I should say. And I mean, they're cannon fodder at this point. They're so ineffective that the First Order didn't care that their main hub of these potential weapons / meat shields was going to get blown up. They don't care about these people's families. They don't care about where these people came from. They almost got clones for and the clones were the most effective ones, and yet they were all based off of one person. And even then they were useless because they killed off some of the greatest, and you could call this a benefit, but I'd say it adds to their uselessness. They killed off the Jedi Order.
30 seconds.
Thank you. Which allowed for the dark side to take over the galaxy, and then once the clones started dying off, the non-useless ones were few and far between. They took the control chip out of their heads. Like all of that goodness didn't even amount to anything. They're just movable, glorified meat shields, and the Empire
5
would do
seconds.
much better to not have them. I'll take
3,
a couple of seconds.
1.
Thanks,
and
Blue Apron.
done.
And also make sure to mute that alarm
Oh yeah,
on
I
the
always
Google.
forget that alarm on there.
That's all right.
Wow.
Okay.
I was impressed. Super duper impressed.
Okay. All
Neil,
right.
did you mute that thing?
Yeah, he'll mute it.
Alright, cool.
He'll mute it.
Michael, you ready? I really liked everything that Mark said, though. Alright.
Okay. I'm ready.
And go.
All right. I know a lot of people might think that the stormtroopers just can't get the job done, but they did bring order to a galaxy in chaos because the Republic at the time, you had a banking clan that was going crazy.
Okay.
You had slavery that was going on. You had a whole bunch of people in the Outer Rim that were just like warring different factions and different criminal syndicates. And how do you stop that? Overwhelming force. And that overwhelming force comes from the stormtroopers. And the stormtroopers, of course, are not the best marksmen. But when you have a wartime draft, which is what the Empire was, you have to take the good with the bad. Now, of course, when you have like 1 or 2 stormtroopers, it doesn't look too good. They're not able to hit everything. But when you have a lot, they're able to keep order. And when you have order, you don't need to shoot. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to shoot because you are policing the different territories and planets properly. The only time they really had any trouble, which were like in the movies that we saw, were with high level rebels. The rebels that we never heard about were always getting killed. Always getting killed. Their little X-wings getting shot down. They couldn't win any ground battles. They were always getting beat up. Not until our high level people, like of course Luke came through and Han, and they needed, the rebels needed top level people too to win. So both sides were
2,
equally
1,
bad.
done.
That was rough.
That was
That was
crazy.
rough. But there are
You
a lot of
brought
points.
up some really good points. Though.
No, that's the
I'm real
thing.
proud of you.
That's the thing is in
You need a
with
break? You need a lemonade? What's going on?
that's one of the things
They're
that I
coming
like
back.
about the newly dubbed Duel of Debates is the fact that sometimes there's going to be a side that we don't agree with.
It's like there's not there.
But you got to be ready for both. That's
Yes.
the thing is we don't know until the show starts which one we're going to be doing, and it was only super secretive now because we didn't want to reveal that we were doing the show again, doing the segment again. So now that we are going to be doing the segment again, as long as there isn't a topic that takes up the entirety of the show,
Yes.
we are going to be doing Duel of Debates. So send
Yes.
in your dueling questions. To either down below this YouTube video or to us on Twitter at Jedi Alliance Pod or on Facebook on our page. We're going to post this up tomorrow. Vote on it. Let us know who you think won and let us know what subjects you want us to debate on in the future. But until next week, Alexis, what are you working on? Where can the folks find you?
Excuse me. You guys can find me all over the interwebs at atorres890. I'm on a few shows on our sister network, AfterBuzz TV, Sense8 and Attack on Titan tomorrow, and Robots in Disguise on Tuesdays, and Winona Earp Sundays, usually right before the show, and then of course my favorite place, Jedi Alliance.
Oh, you're the best.
Oh.
Michael.
You can find me doing Nerd Soul, which is one word, NERDSOUL, on Black Hollywood Live, which is another sister channel here. Super dope. And you'll see me here on Sunday. And can we talk about
About what? Oh yeah, we did it. we were going to be doing our
Yeah.
Force Awakens watch along.
Yes.
We can finally talk about it.
I was like, can we? So yes. Go.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we're going to be doing a watch along on July 2nd. That is Sunday, July 2nd.
Sunday.
Very good. We're still figuring out the time. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But we're double checking on that. And we're going to post again on all of our social media. So make sure to stay tuned for that. It's going to be this crew. We're going to be enjoying the heck out of some Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah.
In case you missed it, this past week I did an episode of Millennial Falcon on Screen Junkies News. Go check that out. That was a lot of fun. Leave a comment there saying how much you love seeing me there and having Jedi Alliance represented on Screen Junkies. Also, for fans of the hosts that came before, I'm going to be doing, I recorded recently an episode of Force Center. We did a countdown on what the Disney parks need to do for Star Wars Land. It's me and Ken Knapsack. That's going to be coming out this week. I also did an episode of the Knapsack Files. That was a lot of fun as well. Thank you, Ken, for having me on. And we're actively talking with Ken and all of our other former hosts to come back on. And I won't announce that yet, but we do have a guest coming up on an upcoming show that's really cool, to be perfectly honest with you. Yes. But you can find me on Twitter at Mark Donica. You can find the show at Jedi Alliance Pod. You can find the studio at The Popcorn Talk. The Popcorn Talk
Network.
Yeah, the Popcorn Talk Network.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Hi. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Jedi Alliance.
Oh
No, don't worry about it. Many dads died. No,
Oh!
Han Solo. Han Solo died to bring us this information because he's a dad and he got stabbed by his son.
that's right. No, you're right.
That's better. That was almost really bad. You can cut us out. That's fine. That's fine.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.